everybody. Sorry I'm late. Okay, hopefully you guys are there. My bad. But yeah, I'm gonna try to talk as loud as I can. But I feel horrible right now. Let's go in the chat, sweetheart. Hi, Miss Shawnee. How are you? She says hello, Miss Felicia, Mary Kate, and chat, honey. Hello, everybody from Miss Shawnee, honey. We got Grant. Hello, Grant. How are you? Sorry I missed your live, honey. I was really sick, and I'm very sorry about that. Okay. He says, hey, Shawnee. Hello, Miss Cookie. How are you, sweetheart? I don't got no makeup on or nothing, you guys. Please. I'm sorry. He's saying Cookie. She's saying Shawnee. Grant. She's saying hello to Grant and Kiki. That's me saying that I'm on my way, honey. Thank you, Grant. Hello, Miss Sandra. I missed your live too, sweetheart. I'm so sorry. I've been trying to fight through this. She said hello, Sandra. Hi, Sandra. Oh, hey, sweet Sandra. She really is sweet. She had a really cute live. She was outside sipping on her little drink. It was really everything. Hello, Miss Kim J. Every single day, honey. Hello. She's saying hello, Kim J. Hey, Kim J. I'm on, but stepping away for about 15 minutes. I have a speak with a patient. Oh, okay. No worries, honey. I know, honey. Dear patients need you, okay? She said hi to Cookie and Shawnee. Hey, Kim J. Hi, Cookie. Hi, Grant. I'm so sorry. Thank you. It has been rough. Exactly. Hi, Shawnee, Sandra, and Grant. Thank you for coming, even though you don't feel. Thank you. You are so welcome, honey. I really wanted to be in that chat too. I had you on, but I was also taking a nap, so I don't really feel like I was there. You know what I mean? Hello, chat. My sniffly friend. Thank you. Hello, Mia. We missed you. I went to Miss Coach Mean Reen for the first time. She is everything. Oh my gosh. And we were talking about you, and we missed you. Get well soon. But thank you. And I appreciate that. She said, hey, Mia. Hi, Kimmy Cakes. She said, hi, Mia. Are you fighting a cold like me? Oh, yes. I'm so sorry you're sick too. I've been fighting one for over a week, and I'm losing. Oh my God. I don't want this to last for a week. I'm sorry it's been lasting for a week for you. Oh my gosh, honey. We are strong. And we are going to get through this. I hope you feel better, sweetheart. She said, hi, Mia. Oh, I'm sorry, Cookie. I don't want to hear that you're sick. You're too sweet to be sick, sweetheart. Yes, I hope you feel better, Cookie. So we are on chapter 15. And Miss Delilah, I don't know if she's still at the cruise or if she's coming back from the cruise. She went on a cruise, so I was gonna fill in for her. I was gonna do it Saturday, got super busy, and then got super sick. I had enough to like post I haven't even responded back to my love letter video. It's all bad. Okay, I'm gonna get back to you guys though. Girl, that love letter video was the last time I felt better. Oh my gosh. She said, hi, Kim J, all day. She said, how are you, Sandra? How are you, Sandra? Hopefully you're feeling better than all of us. So we are on chapter, I'm just writing it down. Chapter 15. We are almost through this book. This book has 20 chapters. We have been here for a minute, sweetheart. But that means 15 weeks worth. So yeah, we got 5 more chapters left. Thank you guys for any of you guys that have just gotten here, or any of you guys that have been with me since the start of the book, and Delilah obviously too. Delilah changed her channel name. She was Delilah Rodriguez, now she's my Delilah. But I have it in my description. I have it in the post. Sometimes it doesn't let me put the hyperlink where you can click on it and go. My bad. I don't know what's going on with that, but Sandra says, doing good, guys. Good, sweetheart. Cookie says, thank you, Kim J. It can't last much longer, can it? I hope not. Everybody has been, like, sick for days. My daughter was sick, and it lasted, like... She has just a tiny bit of sniffles left, and it's been, like, 5 days. And then me and my husband are, like, very sick. He's way more sick than I am. Excuse me. And then my son's starting to get sick. I don't need him to be sick, okay? Out of everybody in this house, he is a diva, honey. Full-blown diva. I mean, he's strong, but he wants everything, like, in his hand. And I'm like, honey, I don't feel good either. Oh, okay. I'm going to be driving, so don't think I'm gone. I'm here until we finish. Oh, my sweet angel, thank you. Oh, and I appreciate that. Cookie, yes, prayers for Cookie, honey. Okay, let me get the book out. I never have this Audible ready, and that's on me. Okay, let's go to the book. Okay, let's see. Oh my gosh, you guys are really posting out here. I got so many notifications. Let's see. Okay, Audible. I'm trying to see the name of the chapter. Okay. So chapter 15 is called Unlock the Power of Your Influence. Hey, let me write that down. Unlock the power of your influence. This should be pretty cool for us influencers. Okay. This chapter is 33 minutes long and 33 seconds. It's long. We're going to try to power through it.
Chapter 15. Unlock the power of your influence. I almost feel like this chapter needs a theme song. You know that song by Montel Jordan and Wino? This is how you do it. I'm a terrible singer. No, seriously. This is how you do it. Because when you stop trying to pressure people to change and let them, something magical happens. You now have the time and energy to unlock the power of your positive influence. You can tap into the science, and you're going to just love this. People are social creatures that are highly influenced and inspired by the people around them. And this has been proven over and over by decades of research on human behavior. This is why when you see someone online gushing about a protein powder or a new style of jeans or a pro golfer holding up a club that improved their golf game, you suddenly feel yourself wanting to buy it. If you see something working positively for someone else, it often makes you feel interested in it too. Whether you realize it's happening or not, when someone else is either having a lot of fun or getting the results that you want or making something look easy and pleasurable, you're hardwired to move toward it. It's why when you hear a friend raving about a book, you naturally want to read it. I'll give you an example. If someone starts eating a crisp red apple on the train, research shows people around the person eating the apple start craving an apple too. If a coworker suddenly starts taking a walk outside at lunch every day, you're more likely to suddenly feel like going for a walk at lunch too. The reason why your influence works is backed by decades of research on human behavior. You and I are social creatures. We are highly influenced and inspired by the people around us, especially when they're having fun. Dr. Sherritt calls it social contagion, which is a fancy way to say that people's behavior is contagious. Now, using this with people in your life is very simple. You're going to model the behavior change you want to see. That means walk the talk you've been asking for. If you have any shot at influencing someone else to move toward the behavior or change you want them to make, you have to show them how easy it is. Let me give you a few examples. You can't ask someone else to eat healthier while you're raving about the croissant you just ate. But you can influence them if you're always eating healthy meals yourself and then raving about how good it tastes and how great you feel. Here's another example. You can't ask someone else to stop looking at their phone when you've got your phone in your hand, but you can influence them by keeping your phone in a different room and modeling better boundaries with your devices. Model the behavior you want to see. And what I love about this research is that it's a sneaky way to get someone else to change and believe it was their idea. So I want to take the example of the coworker who goes on a walk every day and really unpack this for you so you understand how the science of influence works in someone else's brain. If you see someone else do that every day for a few weeks, their behavior starts to influence you subconsciously. Just imagine you're sitting at your desk, tap, 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 tap. You're emailing away during your lunch break. You're shoving a sandwich in your mouth as you work. And then you watch them stand up from their desk, leave every day at lunch. You then watch them come back after their walk. They're in a better mood. They seem to have more energy. They're smiling. And then you see it happen again the next day. And as they walk out the door and you're sitting at your desk, shoving a sandwich in your mouth again and working again through your lunch break, and then a half an hour later, they walk back in and again, they look refreshed. They look energized. They look happy. Their example influences you, even though you're not consciously thinking about it. And guess what happens if you see this over and over and over again? All of a sudden one day, might be a couple months from now, might be a week from now, you're going to look up from your computer and you're going to look outside. You'll see it's a beautiful day. And suddenly you feel like going for a walk during your lunch break instead of working through lunch like you usually do. Now, here's what I love about this example and the power of influence. As you head out the door for your walk, you think this was your idea. Nope. It was the influence of your coworker working its magic on your brain. And they weren't even trying to do it. They were just going for a walk and enjoying it. Makes sense, doesn't it? That's the power of your influence. And you can use this research to inspire anyone in your life to change. Here's how. First, let them be. Stop pressuring them to change. Accept that you cannot control their behavior or their actions because adults only do what they feel like doing. And your job is to accept them for who they are and for where they are in life. Let them be. Then let me use your influence because that's where your power is. And that means focus on what you can control, your behavior. Model change and make it look fun and easy. Dr. Sherritt's research shows that your influence is highly effective, but it requires a lot of patience because it will take time for your positive influence to take effect in someone else's brain. So you're going to need to say, let them, a lot, as you focus on your own behavior and your attitude about it. It's so important to do this without the expectation that this other person will ever change. And the reason why you have to give up your expectations is that if you do this expecting them to change, you're going to start to resent them again when they don't. And that just creates more of the same pressure. So focus on yourself, model the behavior and the positive attitude and how easy and fun this is, just because it works for you. And hold out the hope that the magic of your influence will work on them. But be prepared to give it 6 months or more. I know what you're thinking. 6 months? Yes, 6 months. It could absolutely take 6 months or more of you going to the gym, making it look fun and easy, before the other person in your life suddenly feels motivated to exercise for themselves. If you don't want to wait that long, or if you're already in a very frustrating standoff with someone that you love, it's time for advanced techniques in the science of influence. And that means it's time to sit down and have a conversation. And this isn't just any old conversation. I'm about to teach you a science-backed method that you're going to follow that's used by medical professionals in clinical settings that will disappear the tension and create space for change. And the technique that you're going to use is something that I call the ABC loop. Now, the ABC loop is a tool that I created based on all the research that I've done and combined the best of what the experts say will work, and I've put it all into a very simple formula that you can follow with absolutely anyone in your life. The ABC loop begins with a conversation that follows a proven scientific technique. And this conversation that you're going to have with the person that you love is very different from any of the conversations that you've had about the issue that's bothering you in the past. In the ABC loop, there are 3 steps. A stands for apologize, then ask open-ended questions. B is back off, then observe their behavior. C, celebrate progress while you continue to model the change. I will walk you through each of these 3 steps, one by one, and show you exactly what to do. And then I'm going to explain with science and the let them theory why this works. But first, if you want to use this advanced technique on someone else, you got to be willing to do a little preparation before you even sit down with them. Because if this issue has been around for a while and between the two of you, you definitely have some pent-up frustration and emotion about it. And that's part of the problem. And that's created a standoff. So I want you to first get clear about why this bothers you so much. And to do that, you're going to use another research-backed technique that is going to give you instant clarity. And that will help the ABC loop conversation go way better. Before you have the conversation, you need to get very clear about what exactly is making you so annoyed. And why do you want them to change?
Okay, I paused it right there. Sorry, I've been having to blow my nose off screen. I actually blow my nose really loud. I'm not trying to do it really loud on here. So let's go into chat real quick before we talk about the portion of the chapter. We had some people come in. We had Miss Linda McDuffie, honey. Yes. Hello, sweetheart. How are you? I'm a little sick for the people that came in right now. I'm trying to talk as loud as I can. Kim J said, not the protein powder. We get influenced by what's the latest protein powder. We got Miss Nicole, honey. She said, hey, everyone, I'm just eating real quick but listening. And I appreciate that, sweetheart. Thank you. Everyone's saying hi to each other. Cookie said, y'all can eat cottage cheese. I'm still not going to eat it. I like sweet cottage cheese. I understand if you guys don't like it. I have tried to blend up cottage cheese and put it in a savory dish. It comes out, I don't know, kind of strange. It's a great protein packed, but it also makes me a little too full. I don't know. Maybe I didn't find the right recipe. Let's just say that. And we have Miss Jerlene, honey. Hello. How are you, sweetheart? That's my sweet angel. Grant says, I used to work through lunch at my old job, more stressful job. Oh, not worth it. It wasn't. When I was a caregiver, oh my gosh, everybody wants your attention at once. I need you. And I would try to work through breaks and lunch. as much as I loved my geriatric patients, my old peeps, they did not care if I was eating or not, if I was using the restroom. I had a lot of caregiver friends that actually wind up getting UTIs and kidney infections because they were holding their pee too long because they wouldn't go use the restroom because they required our attention so much. I said, go use the bathroom, okay? If you gotta pee, go pee, okay? We can't be hurting ourselves. Kim says, Cookie, I can eat cottage cheese in a dish, but not by itself. No, no thanks. No, ma'am. I'm the same way. I tried blending it up. I just like it sweet. I feel you on that. Linda McDuffie says, makes sense. Yeah, like influencing people. I'll get into that, though. She said, me too, Grant, all the time. Yeah, it's those stressful jobs. Grant says, thank God for remote jobs, eh? Grant, I don't remember what you do for a living. If you want to share it, share it. If you don't, I know you work remote. That's pretty cool, honey. Kim J says, yes, people do what they want, especially adults. Let them and let me. The Serenity Prayer, yes. We used to have the Serenity Prayer on the wall, and that was like the first prayer I really ever truly learned. Wonderful prayer, and it doesn't have to be for what most people intend it for. It really is a beautiful prayer for. Sorry, I gotta sneeze. It's a beautiful prayer. Linda says, this is true. Absolutely. Grant says, people are slow to change. That was me when it came to Christy getting healthy way before me. Yeah, and you're telling me that Christy was the one that really influenced you to get on a better health journey, not just for weight, but for obviously the comorbidities that you're having. And it's impressive. Christy lost 160 pounds, naturally on her own, with discipline and motivation and all of that. And I'm glad she did influence you because you guys have a lot to work for, a lot to live for. That's absolutely right. And I always say that when you're trying to influence somebody, not change somebody, because adults, they're not going to want to change if they don't want to change in the first place. Adults are going to be adults. They're more stubborn than anybody else, hard-headed, okay? We're going to kind of do us in a sense. But if someone knows that they're in the wrong, as long as you implant that seed in them of like, hey, you should be doing this, or hey, I'm doing this. Maybe you quit doing something or you started to do something, and an adult in your life sees that, like, man, this, that's probably going to last only a little while. And then when they see the consistency that you're building upon it, yeah, that seed gets implanted in there. And as every time they look at you, every time they see your consistency, they see that maybe I can do this too. And it's never too late to start nothing, whether that's education, your health journey, even if it's learning something new, like, playing an instrument. It's never too late. And if you see somebody else do it, it's leading by a great example. And that's what we are as parents too, is that's all we're doing is leading by example, because our children are just a different version of us. If we're in their lives consistently, they become like mini versions of us, whether it's the mother or the father or whomever. They can get influences from uncles, aunts, grandparents. That's who we are in the end. When it comes to children, when it comes to adults, yeah, it's more trickier, but as long as you implant that seed, it'll grow. Just keep watering it little by little. It'll grow. Sorry, I went on a tangent. Kim J says, March Madness, focusing on me and minding the business that pays me. Yes. March Madness, I was hearing it through you. I was hearing it through Coach Mean of like, this is us like marching into ourselves, like really pouring into ourselves, whether it is, the journeys that we're on, because we are on many journeys. Weight loss is a part of it, yes, but a lot of us have been on journeys before this, and a lot of people are still on a lifelong journey, because most journeys that we choose to pick are usually lifelong. There's very seldomly where there's a small journey we're on where it only lasts us for a little while. So it's building that sustainability for us. That's key. Nicole says, if you guys have tried the Oikos Pro protein yogurt cups with a packet of Clean Simple Eats powder, Sorry, OMG, yeah. Mia is the one that's always inspiring me. I haven't done it really yet, but she's always like posting things about like mixing her protein powders in her yogurts. I've never tried it, but I really want to. It just seems like such a small amount of food, but if it's that protein packed, obviously it's gonna make me full. I usually mix my yogurts, like the Oikos, because it has the best macros in the game. Okay, with the sweet cottage cheese, and I'll have that at night. But it's a little more carb heavy. Okay, let's see. Grant says that sounds pretty good, Nicole. Grant loves sweets. I ain't gonna lie to you. Okay, the man don't love vegetables. The man don't love certain healthy foods. That man loves sweets. So if you can make sweets good for him, I'm all for it. Kim J says the book Who Moved My Cheese about learning how to be okay with change. I've never heard of that. I'm gonna write it down. Who moved my cheese? That's a really cute name, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'll go look at it. Nicole says I'm on antibiotics, plus I have no appetite. I just got 43 grams of protein in a little yogurt cup, just saying it was delicious. That's a lot of protein, sweetheart. Yes. I'm sorry you are on antibiotics. Antibiotics is buns sometimes, okay? It's terrible. But I am happy that you're getting the medicine to help you. I'm sorry your appetite is gone too. I've been trying to eat to my calories. I just feel like trash right now. I feel you on that. So you can change with it. Oh, okay. That's from the book. I gotta look at it. Shani says, sounds good, Nicole. I'm hungry. No shot last week. Really? Wow. If you have no hunger and you had no shot. Oh, she said, I am hungry. Okay. I was like, how are you not hungry? I thought, okay. I'm sorry you're hungry, sweetheart. I hope that you do get your shot. Okay? I'm so sorry. That's terrible. He said 43 grams. Dang, nice. Yes. Nicole says, I'm going to make a yogurt bowl tonight. Yes. Is that Paul? Hey, Paul. That's Paul Amadeus Lane. Yes. How are you, sweetheart? I like your profile picture. It's like, it's cute. Everyone's saying hey to Paul. Yep, 23 grams in the yogurt and 20 grams of protein powder. Grr. She was using the Clean Simple Eats. I don't know what flavor, though. Paul. Looking forward to your live later, Paul. Yes, Paul. Oh, Simply Vanilla. Okay, there you go. Is that Miss Nikki? Hey, sweetheart. How are you? It was nice seeing you earlier. She was in Coach Mean Green's live. Yay, sweetheart. Everyone saying hi to Nikki. He said, hey, everybody. Everyone saying hi to Miss Nikki. Hi, Cookie. I do accounting at home, QuickBooks, bookkeeping. Oh, that's really good. Yeah, you can definitely work at home being an accountant. Who knew Grant was great with numbers, honey? Yes, I love to see it. Yes, Grant, I love working from home. Yes. I hope you feel. I know I sound terrible. I sound like buns, honey. Ugh, terrible. Hey, Kim J. Hello, Paul. Yes, I hope you're doing well, Miss Jerlene. And how are you, Paul? She's saying hello to Cookie, Grant, Shani, Jerlene, Nicole. Everyone's saying hi to each other. He's saying, Kimmy J, I'm good. I'm sorry, all good. How are you? Yes, hello, Miss Nikki. Oh, here's Miss Linda. Miss Linda McDuffie said, my daughter is very consistent in working out and eating healthy. My grandson, when I came down here, used to work out every day, but my daughter there is not a day she pushes and goes to the gym. Wow, honey, your daughter is consistent. Let me see if you finished it. Okay. Is my influence. I watch her and see the results being consistent. So proud of her hard work and her healthy journey. Oh my God, congratulations to your daughter, honestly, and your grandson. It's good to be on a journey that is just bettering you, and especially the one that betters our health, because we only got one us. You know what I mean? If we're going to invest in us, whether it's our health journey, our mental health journey, our emotionals, our physicals, our spirituals. We only have one chance to do this, and we only have one us to do this. So the more we do this, the wonderful it is. We're worth it. Every single one of us is worth it. I said that in Coach's Live today. I'm trying to see if I missed anybody. Nicole says, why no shot, Shawnee? And then Mia says, are you ready to exercise here in an hour and a half? I'm drinking this water, feeling like I'm floating. Yeah, you've been drinking a ton of water, sweetheart. I'm going to try to get through the book club as fast as I can. If I don't make it, my bad. I'm going to probably watch the replay if I don't. I'm sorry you're feeling waterlogged from drinking all your water. It's tough. You be having to go to the bathroom every 5 seconds. Nicole says, hello, Drilling, Cookie, Paul, Grant, Nikki, Kim J, anyone else I miss? Hello, everybody from Miss Nicole, honey, yes. Mia, she's about to kick our butts. Getting in my water and protein before, yes. They're talking about Miss Coach Mean Reen. Sorry. Kim says, Mia, FMB will probably sit this exercise time so she can rest from this so she can feel better. Yeah, I'm feeling like trash. It's only when we need her better. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Right? She said replays rock. And that's on everything. I hope you feel better. Oh, thank you, sweetheart. Mia, we have to put our foot down. She's stubborn. I'm very stubborn. When they're talking about the stubborn adults that don't want to change, it's me, honey. I had to say, no, you're fine. I am stubborn. And that's on what? And that's on period. So she was also talking about the, focus on your own behaviors, show examples of, lead by example. She was also talking about, take time to influence it takes time to influence positive behavior, especially in adults. Kind of like me, you got to tell me over and over and over and over and over again, and then I'm like, okay, I'll listen to you. Terrible. Takes 6 months or more. So if you're not feeling progress in anything, a lot of behavior changes do take anywhere from the earliest I've seen 3 months to the latest I've seen a year. Especially when it comes to negative behavior, bad behavior, that's going to take a minute to change. I only know all this because I have been through years of CBT, which is cognitive behavior therapy, where they mainly focus just on your behavior patterns. Understand that. She was going to go into the ABC loop, which I think is really interesting because when you go through cognitive behavior therapy, they do talk about the ABCs of behavior. She's talking about A as in apologize, B as in when you back off, and then C as in, I forgot, I didn't write it down. I was looking in the chat. But when you do cognitive behavior therapy, which is usually for people who have certain types of depression, certain types of anxieties that have branched off into other things. It can be for some people with some PTSD, complex PTSD too. It's a different type of therapy where you're trying to change where the depression and the anxieties and the traumas and the triggers are stemming from. So if things are bothering you in your everyday life from, the mental challenges you have, more than likely they will put you through CBT therapy. I don't know if any of you guys have been through that type of therapy. My kids go through that type of therapy for their autism. It's like they call it ABA, but it is cognitive behavior therapy because it all starts from here. All the things that bother you, trigger you in your life, starts from here. So her ABCs is probably a different version of the ones that they teach you in therapy, because the ABCs in cognitive therapy is the antecedent, the behavior, and the consequence. So the antecedent is what's going to happen before the trigger happens. So let's say for a child, it's, they're about to tantrum because maybe, I don't know, they want something in the store, okay, and they can't have it. You see that they're starting to whine a little bit. They're starting to be like, oh, The B, so that's the antecedent. What's going to happen? The B is the behavior. How do they respond to not having something? How do they respond to not getting their way? And the C is the consequence, because they're either going to blow up, cry about it, or they're going to be like, okay, you know what? I can't have it today. It's fine. The consequence goes through is like the follow through. What do you do about the consequence? Are you going to give in to them and give the child what they want so that they can just hush up? Or are you going to double down and be like, I'm sorry, we're not going to have this because A, you probably didn't do good in school, or you didn't earn it, or something like that. This also happens for adults. And so you can kind of gauge somebody's behavior pattern by the ABCs of like, you tell something to somebody, and then you're kind of like, okay, how are you going to react to what I just told you? So you're going to see, how are they before? How are they in the middle of it? What's their behavior like? Are they going to get defensive? Are they going to get, they're not going to care? Are they going to start gaslighting you? And the C is a consequence. What are you going to do about how they just reacted to all of this? Sorry, that was a big spiel, but it kind of got to me when she said the ABCs, honey. Okay, let me see. I'm in the chat. Hold on, I'm in the chat. Okay. Kim says I didn't want her to do this today, but I had to let her. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she was like, don't go on. You're fine. You're sick. And I was like, when I stay really dedicated to something, I don't care what it is or how I feel. I just do it. But I know that's how I burn out quite a bit, so I do need to listen. As much as I shouldn't have came on today, I mean, I did. Kim just cares for me, and I appreciate you, Kim. She says, and let me support and love her. Thank you, sweetheart. I'm stubborn, honey. I'm sorry. Mia says, I am thankful because I couldn't do it because I had too many issues with incontinence. Now I'm so much better. A grateful attitude helps. Yes, I may mention it, but I am proud and I can do it. Yes, drinking that much water is no joke, and a lot of us really don't need a whole gallon of water a day, but some of us do. Some of us have been dehydrated for a very long time, but there's a lot of people who can't handle it because of like edema issues or kidney issues or even heart issues. It's understandable. Once you start getting your body used to drinking more water, even if it's 64, even if it's 55, they tell my dad to drink at least 50 to 55, and he's happy with that. He's working up to it. He's at like, I think, 3 water bottles. So I'm just happy he's drinking more water. And I'm happy that you're getting used to, especially with the incontinence thing. I had to deal with that when I was much heavier, for sure. B, if you need to keep it short, I'm sure we all understand. You don't need to suffer through the cold for us. I have called in sick myself. Oh, I thank you, sweetheart. You guys care about me, and I appreciate that. I'm going to try to get through it. Thank you. Sandra says, it took 25 years for me to start changing. CBT has also helped changes. Yes, you did CBT. Also helps change through patterns. Yes, it's the pattern recognition of it all. See, Sandra understands behavior. She understands people. When you understand behavior, you tend to understand people, humans just in general. You can even start understanding other things, but once you start seeing it in 25 years, it's never too late to start, okay? And even if it took that long, it doesn't matter how long you take. There's people till this day who are stubborn. I might be stubborn till the day I go, okay? Will that part of me leave? Hopefully. But there's some people who are not willing to change, not willing to do anything for themselves. You gotta let them, in a sense. I'm proud of you, sweetheart. Mia says, yes, Kimmy, she's gonna do it because she likes to stat with her words. That means a lot. Or start, I think you should start, you can count on Felicia, period. And that's not period. And that's who she is, but I'm feeling she loves us and wants to be here. Yeah, I do. But might need rest for her health. I'm going to lay down after this for sure. I just wanted to get up here. I just didn't have the energy to put makeup on, okay? Couldn't do it. Sorry. Cookie, she loves us so much so she didn't want to let us down. It's true. Gotta love her for putting others first. She's down for her busy bees. We love you. Oh, thank you. And I appreciate that. After all so many years, I still don't know how to take in verbal praise. I get kind of shy about it. Thank you, sweetheart. And Nicole says, I got diagnosed with depression, anxiety, panic attacks, PTSD, and PTSD night terrors when I was a teenager before they had different types. And that's a whole other topic too. There was many types for sure, because they used to put people in the PTSD category in one category until they started coming out with the CPTSD, which is complex PTSD. That's like ongoing for years and years, to where it kind of stunts somebody's mental growth. So some people will stay stuck. Like, I don't know if you've ever met somebody and they're like, dang, why do they act like a kid? Mentally, maybe they're stuck there. I always try to give people grace because you never know. And a lot of anxiety disorders do go into like panic attacks, and they do go into, like, for me, my anxiety started stemming to OCD, more of the O part than the C part, which is the obsessive part versus the compulsive part. I'm not compulsive, but the CBT therapy really has helped me lower the anxiety so that the OCD does not take over my life like it used to. I feel you on that. Sandra says, during my 10th year of work with incarcerated, oh my gosh, you worked with incarcerated men. We did a lot of work with identifying, yes, cognitive distortions. Honey, you had a hard job. You were working with real life criminals. Much respect. I respect you a whole lot more now, okay? You know how hard it is to deal with inmates? I don't know. But you do. I need to learn that side of you, okay? She comes off sweet and everything, but, like, that's a tough cookie right there, okay? Mia says, Nicole, that's horrible. I'm so sorry to hear about that. Absolutely. Dealing with it in a time of when your brain is still trying to develop, your teenage years, it's a hard time because you're not fully developed here. You're not fully developed up here until you're 25. So never, if you have young adult children or young, like, nieces, nephews, daughters, sons, grandkids, and you think that they're not getting their life together before 25, understand that, like, scientifically, nobody's fully developed in the frontal lobes until they're 25. That's insane. We were just running around undeveloped for a very long time. So that's why I try to give people a lot of grace. Grant says, that's right, Kim J. Yes, I am dedicated, and I appreciate that. She said, it's okay, Mia. I've been dealing with all of that for so long, kind of used to it. You kind of learn to live with it instead of against it. And I think that's one of the best things my therapist told me, that, like, if you feel like you're going to be like this for the rest of your life, use it for your advantage instead of against you. Although it's tough with panic attacks. But I know breathing therapy really helped me a lot with the attacks. In the moment, that's the only thing I think ever worked. I appreciate that. Miss Nikki says, I use the fluid that comes out to judge if I need to increase or can decrease the amount of water that I drink. Yeah. I realized I was drinking too much water. And I was kind of going overboard. And now I didn't realize why I was peeing so much. So I feel you on that. I guess the more and more weight you lose, you actually don't need as much water. Like, the whole gallon. If you could take it, but it is a lot sometimes. Miss Nicole says, same, Nikki. Right, that's a lot. Jillian says, thank you, Felicia. But taking care of yourself is taking care of us. Oh, sweet angel. You're such a sweet angel. Thank you. I will. After this, I'm definitely going to take care of myself. Ugh. I appreciate you, sweetheart. Kim J says, I love that you went to therapy. Felicia Marie, you learn so much in therapy and want to help others by using skills/techniques used throughout the years. Pay it forward, sweetheart. It's a purpose for you. Thank you. I used to sit in therapy for ever and then be like, oh, I know I'm helping myself, but there is a point in time where, your therapist is like, you could help influence other people too, like, in your lives. And I was like, well, you guys are part of my life, so, I don't mind sharing that information. As long as it helps anybody, hey, I'm happy. Been having trouble getting enough water lately. Just feeling too full lately. Are you on too high of a dose? Is that what it is? What dose are you on, Manjaro, honey? I don't remember the dose you're on. Look at me not remembering anything about Grant. Oh my gosh. I can admit it though. I'm sorry. I don't want you on too high of a dose. Mia says, Nicole, definitely understand how things become our normal. We just deal with it. Yeah. You learn to live with it instead of against it. She said, thanks, Nikki. Kim J, thanks for all your compassion and care. Truly is. Grant, I know our group pushes big amount of water. For me, I can't do all that. I make a personal goal smaller because for me it works. So don't get down on yourself. Yeah, don't. Just focus on waking up and drinking a bottle. Exactly. You gotta do what's best for you and what's sustainable for you at the end of the day. You know what I mean? I know for the diabetes friends out there, water's tough. For some reason, I don't know what it is. For you guys, it's really tough, and I understand. Everybody in my family has the toughest time drinking water. So at least if you get to that bare minimum of like you're 40, if you could try to do that, 2 water bottles I think is like the bare minimum. As long as you could try to do that, you're doing it, honey. You used to be one yourself. Oh my gosh, Sandra. Sandra, I need to know more about you, sweetheart. Oh, that is everything. Not everything that, like, you used to have a past and all that, but still, it's everything. I'm so intrigued by you, sweetheart. Let me get to find out a little more about Sandra. We all are a work in progress. Do better than the day before. Yep, and that's all it is. What is it? I forgot the saying. Just be better. My mind is gone. Good point, Mia. Thank you. Absolutely true, and that's on everything. Yes, Mr. Lee, someone has to look after Strong. Superhumans too, after all. She is my skinny mini. Bestie, gotta look out for her. She calls me her skinny mini, and I call her my buff bestie. Because Kim J be lifting like 50-pound weights, like just doing it. And I'm like, oh my gosh. Small changes, Grant. Absolutely. I gotta take my to their mama. Oh, no worries. I'll catch the rest of the replay. I'm sure I'll see some of you later. Thank you, Cookie. Love you so much, Cookie. Hope your granddaughters had a good day, sweetheart. And hope your daughter's having a good day, too. Feel better, okay? That's first and foremost. Okay, I got to... Oh, no, I thought I got to the chat. Okay. Great. In the winter, I'm that way, too. I'm not being able to get in as much water. That's why I started adding a Sunkist mix in to one of my waters to get in. Mia sent me a Sunkist mix in. I gotta try it. But I can say the more I sweat, work out, move my body, the more water I want. Yeah, because you're expelling it, sweetheart. Of course. You're also expelling electrolytes too, so be careful, buff bestie. I will share with you anytime. I feel special. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, Cookie, see ya. She's all that's some fun, sweet little love names you guys have. Better together. Yeah, I call her Buff Bestie for sure. My doctor feels I may be flushing. Yes, with the large amounts of. My doctor told me that. He's like, why are you low on sodium? And I was like, I don't know. I season my food. And I was like, but the electrolytes I drink are very low sodium. It's only like 50 milligrams of sodium versus 1,000 in other brands. When I did my blood testing, he's like, you're real low on your nutrients. He's like, how much water do you drink? I was like, a gallon. And he's like, hey, it's too much, okay? So I'm learning to slow down on it, but now that I like drinking so much water, I want more water. I gotta chill, or else I'm gonna deplete myself. So yes, listen to Jerlene. Be careful. Always talk to your doctor. Just like it says on the screen, I'm not your doctor, your dietitian, your therapist, your medical professional, or an astronaut, honey. If you want to go to the moon, I can't take you there. If you want medical advice, honey, it ain't me. Okay? Okay. Sandra said, oh, you're laughing at me. I'm the same way, Kim J. It's easier for me to drink more water when it's warmer. Yes, didn't figure that out until this winter. I'm glad you're figuring it out. Oh my gosh, my throat. Sure, the more you drink, the more you want, right? I'm ridiculous when it comes to water. Like, I'm drinking water plus um, electrolytes plus my green juice that I mix with water. I mix all my protein powders in water. I don't mix it in milk. And then now I'm drinking tea because my throat. It's too much water right now. Okay. Can't have too much. Can't have too little. Okay. Back to the book. She's gonna talk about her ABCs and all of that. She says try Element. Yeah, I've tried Element. It's really salty, and it made my hands really swollen. So I think it's a little too much. I think if I were to cut an Element in half, it would probably be better because a whole Element, my hands were like, I couldn't make a fist comfortably. It was weird. My doctor told me I'm good at 64 to 90. Don't go over 100. Now that you know FMB, I get potassium, sodium, and magnesium in. Yes. Yeah. Um, that's the number one things that'll deplete you on is your potassium, sodium, and magnesium. And you can try, like, kind of fiddle around with other electrolytes. Like I said, I could do Element. I probably have to do half because it's way too much sodium. And I season my food very well. So don't be afraid to season your food, guys. We need salt. Pedialyte. Yes, Pedialyte. I have some too. Don't do it, then I do different one. I'll tell you in a minute. Oh, yeah, go ahead, honey. In the meantime, I'm going to press play. But I'm here, sweetheart.
Now, this is important because before you can be honest with someone else, you have to be brutally honest with yourself. And here's how you can get to the truth with yourself. Just grab a blank piece of paper or crack open a journal or get out your notes app because I'm going to walk you through a proven technique called the 5 Whys Method. And the idea here in this prep work is to rise above your emotions and dig deep to get to the truth about why this bothers you so much. The 5 Whys Method was created by Sakichi Toyota, an inventor and founder in the Toyota family companies, as a way to help engineers uncover the root cause of a particular problem. And it's now taught in business schools and engineering programs around the world. The 5 Whys Method is a formula that I use in my life. I use it in my business. I use it in my marriage. I use it whenever I want to get unstuck and gain profound insights whenever I faced a problem that I just can't seem to solve. And in this method, it's really simple. You're just going to ask yourself why 5 total times until you feel like you've gotten to a much deeper answer as to why this bothers you so much. And here's how you use the 5 Whys Method. Ask yourself, why does this person's behavior or this situation bother me so much? And then think about it and write or say your answer. And then ask it again. Why? And then ask it again. Why? And then ask again. Why does that bother you? And then a final time. Why does that bother you? Here's an example of how it could look in the situation with my friend who's upset about her husband's health. When she sits down and does this prep work and she asks herself, why does this situation bother me? She might say, it bothers me because he doesn't seem to care about his health. Why? He's modeling unhealthy habits for our kids. Why does that bother you? Well, it's like he's ignoring everything important for an extra beer 15 minutes longer on the TV or an ice cream, and it's making him unattractive. Well, why does that bother you? Well, he's the love of my life, and I think he's being selfish. I don't want him to have a heart attack when he could
What happened?
couch and exercise. Why does that bother you? Well, I'm terrified that I'm going to lose him before I have to. See how that works? So simple. And 5 whys later. This issue that you're frustrated with, it's a lot deeper than just being mad at someone. And in the case of my friend, that's exactly why it's stressing her out so much. And here's what else you need to know. your answers, when you ask yourself why 5 times, they're going to be deeply personal to you.
Period.
Give yourself permission to get to the root cause, even if you discover something ugly about yourself. Having done this exercise with thousands of people, one theme that comes up a lot that is very hard to see in yourself is judgment of the other person and how their behavior reflects badly on you, or so you think. For example, you might ask yourself the 5 whys and conclude that the real reason you're upset about someone's drinking is because you're embarrassed to have a son with a drinking problem, or you're ashamed to be married to someone who's not successful. Whatever you learn using the 5 whys method, it's personal to you, and you do not have to share what you learn with the other person. You can, if you think it will help you, apologize for pressuring them, but this is about you getting to the root cause of your frustration. And it will always, I promise you, have to do with how their behavior is making you feel a loss of control. So allow yourself to be honest. When you see that it's been about you all along and your need to control, it is so much easier to drop the pressure and let them be. And that puts you into a grounded place as you go and sit down with this person that you care about and you have a conversation following my ABC loop method. You've done all this preparation to set up the conversation properly, so you're ready. It's going to be amazing. But you got to understand the context. This is not a conversation that you're going to have with alcohol. You can't have time pressure to finish it. Definitely do not be doing this over the phone or over text or in some random place. The point of this is to connect at a deeper level, to remove all the tension and emotion between the two of you, and to create space for transformation and connection. And the point isn't for you to be right. The point isn't for you to rush through it. The point is for you to communicate in a manner that's going to neutralize the tension between the two of you and create space for positive change. My favorite place to have the ABC loop conversation, honestly, it's going to sound a little weird, but I like to do it in the car because you're both there. There's no alcohol involved. And there's something about just kind of staring ahead at the open road that I find makes my family members more open. But with that warning, that pro tip, you can have this wherever you want as long as you have enough time and space to be able to have it. The time allows the tension to transform into motivation, which makes them think it's their idea. So first, step A, apologize, then ask open-ended questions. This first step utilizes an evidence-based technique to elicit change called motivational interviewing, which I learned all about from Dr. K. Dr. K says that this is one of the only ways that is effective in helping you influence someone else's motivation to change. And it's the same technique that he uses with his patients. Now, my favorite part of this technique and the first step of apologizing and then asking open-ended questions is that it focuses on asking questions. And the thought behind this technique is that getting the person to talk about how they feel will encourage them to think about the disconnect between what they really want and their current behavior. Now, this is the opposite of pressure. Instead of thinking you know what someone should do or how they feel, you're taking a step back. You're asking open-ended questions because you're curious about where someone stands with their behavior. And the best way to start this conversation is with the apology. You could say something like, I just wanted to talk to you because I want to apologize for judging and pressuring you. And I realized I've never asked you how you feel about, and then whatever the issue is. It could be their health, never asked you how you feel about your grades, never asked you how you feel about your job search, being single, your living situation, your marriage, drinking, finances. Starting with an apology for your behavior, it sets the tone for a compassionate and supportive conversation. And then really listen. Lean in. and try to learn about how this person feels about the issue. And whatever they say, just keep asking them open-ended questions that reflect back the answers that they just gave you. For my friend, it could be something like, how are you feeling about your health right now? According to Dr. K, the question invites someone to really experience the tension between how they truly feel about their health right now and the fact that they're not doing anything about it. As Dr. K says, each action that you take in life is individual. And in motivational interviewing, we help people understand this principle. What we want to do is encourage people to think about their own situation. And then, and this is the hard part, no matter what their answer to the first question is, you're not going to share your feelings about it. You're just going to repeat back their answer. So it sounds like you're feeling okay about your health. Now, Dr. K said, if they answer in a one-word response like, I'm fine, okay, no problem. Just turn it into another open-ended question. What makes you feel okay about it? And then continue to just listen with curiosity and acceptance and respond only with open-ended questions that repeat back what they just said. It sounds like you're okay with your health. Is that because you've been this way for a long time? And here are some follow-up questions that Dr. K recommended that you can use for just about any topic. Well, how do you feel about that? So it sounds like you've gotten used to it. You're saying you're comfortable. Do you feel like it's going to take too much work to change? What feels hard about it? It must be incredibly frustrating to have me nagging you all the time and expecting more of you. Can you tell me a little bit about how long you felt that way? So I hear you saying that you don't need me to do anything? Or if they don't want to talk about it, you could say this. I hear you saying that you don't want to talk about it. Why don't you want to talk about it? And I need to remind you again, you're just asking questions. Your opinions, irrelevant. They're not for this conversation. And the second that you offer one, guess what happens? You just pressure the person. And it's going to kill the effectiveness of this technique. This technique has been proven in research and clinical settings to be very effective in getting people to admit to themselves that there's a big, big disconnect between what they actually want and their current behavior. And that's your goal. Your goal is to make them feel the tension between these two things. And I want to keep emphasizing something. Don't get discouraged if all you get is one-word answers, or if they keep trying to change the subject. Dr. K said the point of this technique is not to get them to tell you the truth. It's just to create discomfort that they're going to feel internally. Even if they act all stoic, they're going to feel it, and they may not express it to you. And that tension is critical because it ultimately becomes the source of their motivation to change. Seeing the disconnect for themselves between what they want and their current actions is what pushes them to eventually change for themselves. Isn't that kind of cool? That's why you can't insert yourself. You're just a vehicle for getting them to experience this disconnect and that tension, but you're doing it in a way that's loving, compassionate, curious, apologetic. You just want to know how they feel about this topic. And this conversation is a critical component for awakening their motivation to change. You have to trust the science. So let them talk and let me listen. Then you move on to step B, back off and observe their behavior. Now that you've apologized for your behavior, you've asked them open-ended questions, you've heard what they've had to say, you have to back off and stop pressuring them. And one of the things that Dr. K said is it actually doesn't matter whether the conversation goes good or it goes bad. Doesn't matter if they say one word and then they don't answer the other questions and then they stand up and leave, or if they end up opening up and telling you all kinds of things. Simply having this kind of conversation creates the tension that does the work for you. And here's another thing Dr. K said. Do not expect them to launch into action. They're going to need to marinate on this. And this is why it's critical to back off, observe their behavior, and just focus on yourself. All you can do after you've asked the open-ended questions is observe the behavior and stop yourself from trying to change it. You got to walk the talk too. Model the change, make it look easy and fun, while you give them the freedom to figure out for themselves why this issue matters to them.
Okay, I paused right there. See? You kind of implant that seed on them. If people know they're supposed to change something about themselves, if you just kind of become the mirror of what they need to see, they know. A lot of us know, and the ones that don't know, at least you're bringing it to light for the first time, and you implanted that seed. You don't necessarily need to water it to grow. They have to water that seed, which means they have to process this conversation. They have to process whatever you brought up to them. So I always say, like, when you lay something heavy on someone, whether it mostly is about themselves, nobody likes to be told that they're doing something wrong, that they're not doing something they're supposed to be doing, because that's where they shut down. A lot of people's defense mechanism as humans is to shut down, elope, which is run away from it, which is like our basic freeze, fight, or fawn, or I forgot the other response. But there's 4 responses, and as humans, that's what we connect back to. We're either going to fight you against it, we're going to freeze because we don't know how to react to it, we're going to flight, which is run away from it, or fawn, which is kind of like, it's kind of all in one. So it's about allowing that process to happen. Like, they have to process what you had just told them. And it's not even telling them. Like she's saying, you ask it in an open-end question. And this method works really well, surprisingly, on men. And I know it's like, what do you mean, why does it work well on men versus women? Because women are taught to, most women are taught to express their feelings. They're taught to vocalize, vocally, physically, like, to get it out of us. Men aren't. So when you finally ask a guy, like, it must be super hard what you're going through. How do you feel about it? Most men will give you one-word answers. But just because they give you that one-word answer doesn't mean that they're not thinking about it. I know for a lot of men, they do stew on a lot of things because that's how they deal with life. They tell you to man up. They tell you to get over it. And a lot of their emotional trauma comes from the fact that they're not allowed to say it out loud. So, like, for example, like, my husband was this type of people, and it wasn't until I was telling him, hey, it must be really tough dealing with a lot of, like, trauma that you haven't dealt with. And he's like, oh, I'm fine. It's okay. And it's like, but are you really fine? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, do you seem like you're fine? All the ways that you respond to certain things, do you think that's fine? It's to get them thinking about, like, what makes them them. And there's a certain point to where you have to accept them for them too. You gotta let them be them. There's certain things that, like, my husband, he breathes a lot of California air. And at a certain point, I'm like, man, you smoke quite a bit. Like, is that a coping mechanism? Is that something that you use to escape? Or is it something that's really benefiting you? Is it something that you need? And it's a lot of questions. He's like, why do you ask so many questions? You're so nosy. And it's not me being nosy. It's me taking my feelings out, because I could be a person that's like, you need to just stop doing that. Like, it's too much. Like, do you really need that? You're probably addicted. That's a lot of harsh criticism. Instead of trying to understand, why do you do this? And at the end of that conversation, I figured out why you do it. Living with things like complex PTSD, he doesn't want to be medicated with medications that a psychiatrist would give you that would make you feel like a zombie, that would make you feel like you're not even yourself, because he's already done that and it didn't work. So yes, if breathing a little bit of California air gets you back to normal, well, then who am I to judge? And do I accept you for it? And so, yeah, I accepted him for it. If that's what makes him feel better, then who am I to judge? because I was using food as an addiction, as a coping mechanism, and he never once asked me, you know, why do you go to food? Why do you love food so much? You know, when we tend to get unhealthy and overweight, nobody really asks us why. They just let us. And I think if a lot of people were to ask, of course, you know, back in our obese era, the people who even started or are even starting this journey of losing weight, or they want to get healthier, a lot of us would probably have that fight or flight or freeze reaction of like, well, you know, I know I'm supposed to get healthy, but like, I just really like eating, or I don't want to think about it, or I don't want to talk about it. But if we got that seed and planted to us in a positive way, of course we're going to think about it. And of course, the people that are on the medication we're on, it's helped a lot because we could see clarity. But there's a lot of things people are dealing with that they don't have a shot to take and it's going to go away. They don't have a pill that you could take and it's going to solve those issues. You know, that's why I am blessed that we are in a day and age of GLP-1s, of course, because it gave us a lot of clarity and it helped us a lot with more than just weight, helped us with our comorbidities and everything else. But there are a lot of things I do give people grace for, like if they have anger issues, if they are depressed. Are there pills you could take that could just make it go away? No, we have to work on these things. But if we had more open-ended conversations, I think that would help a lot of us throughout our journeys. That's why it's so good to have support. That's why it's so good to have a community with us. And there's another thing she went into before I go in the chat of like asking why 5 times. If you ask why 5 times, and for me, I got asked these whys in therapy when it came to my children, because both of my children have autism. Why does it bother you so much that your son is, you know, acting out in the middle of a store or in public? And I'm like, well, it's because everyone's staring at us. Okay, but why does that bother you? I'm like, because it's too much. I'm overwhelmed. Okay, but why does that bother you? And it got to a point where the ugly truth came out. I was embarrassed. I was embarrassed to have a child like that. And that is tough to say out loud. Do I ever have to tell my children this? No, because I don't feel that way. Not anymore. Of course, in the beginning, I wanted to know. I said I wanted to why I wanted my kids to act right, to be better. You know, why can't he act right? Why can't he just be normal? And at the end of the day, my kids are not normal. My kids will never truly be 100% normal. I had to accept them for who they were. Instead of fighting against it, you're working with it. That's why I stopped caring. I stopped caring what people thought about me in public when my kids were the way they are. They're just trying to be them and function in a society that was not made for them. For sure. That's where my breakthrough came with my kids. That's why if you talk to me and you wouldn't know that my kids have what they have, you're like, how are you so carefree about it? How are you not stressed about this no more? Because I accepted them for who they are, who they're always gonna be. Yes, I love that. Okay, let me go in the chat, honey. Let me see. I think I started right. Oh, this is where I still left off. She says, Ultima, have you tried it? I drink Ultima since the beginning of my journey, honey. I love Ultima replenishers. If they could ever sponsor me, girl, I would be their biggest cheerleader, and that's on period. But I don't think they've ever really sponsored anybody. No, I lied. They sponsor Low Carb Love. Lucky, honey, because that is the best electrolytes, in my opinion. I like eating my salt, not drinking it, period. But I will drink Pure Kick and Body Tech. I've never seen Body Tech for electrolytes after strength training days. Absolutely. Okay. No worries, sweetheart. Shani, you got patients, honey. They need you. Okay? They need you in a whole different way. Grant says, thumbs up. Kim says, yes, Sandra. FMB told me she drank. Yeah, I love electrolytes. Truth. Yeah, she was speaking a lot of truth in there. I drink 1 pouch every day. In one of the 6 bottles I drink Kim. It's been so good. Oh, so good, honey. So good. Ultima has like the best flavors. And that's on period. Mariela, she says, hi, Felicia. I can't chat much, but I'm here listening and I'm editing and eating. Hello, everybody. Hello, everybody from Miss Mariela's Girl. I thank you for being here. I appreciate you for being here. Even if you're only here for a little time, girl, you're here for, what is it called? You're here for a good time, not a long time, and I can appreciate that. Okay, Kim says, Sandra, I thought about trying Ultima for after workouts to help me with muscle recovery since it's iffy for me to use creatine due to the CKD. Yep, doc told me I could use creatine, but I choose not to now. Yes, having a CKD, which is chronic kidney disease, is a tough thing to have. There's no true cure for it. There's no true treatment for it unless you're already in the later stages. But there's a lot of things like can't have too much water. Can't have too much sodium, but then again, you can't have too low, and then you can't have too high. Protein too. It's tough. My dad has CKD, so I understand. Ultimate Replenishers is great for getting that potassium, the electrolytes, the calcium. I forgot the other ones. Magnesium, but it doesn't have too much salt because if you're eating your salt, that's where we're intended to be eating our salt. I just like salty food, so I totally understand that. Everyone's saying hi to Marialas. Trust the process, back off, and stop pressuring. Yes, and that's where it's at. When adults feel pressure, we hit one of those automatic responses: fight, flight, fawn, and freeze. We got to figure out who we are. Help us, oh Lord. Yes, I'm afraid to use creatine too, Kim J. My kidney numbers would go haywire. Exactly. For my diabetes friends out there, yes, be careful with your creatine. I take creatine every single day, but because I don't have those comorbidities. So just because people are pressuring you or you keep hearing it, and it's wonderful benefits too, you got to do what's best for you, okay? At the end of the day, it's about you and you only. You know what I mean? Grant, you're struggling with getting your water in. I totally understand. You're struggling with trying to, get, figure out what supplements are right for you. Totally understand. But just do what's right for you. Absolutely. Kim, I put myself on a 30-day trial with it. When I saw a positive change, I ordered more. Yes. Is that Miss D, honey? Hi. She said hi, Felicia and chat. That's Motivated to Soar, honey. She's very motivational, very spiritual, very faith-based. If you guys do not know her, my goodness. She holds incredible lives on California time. It's at 4 in the morning. I think it's 4 in the morning over here. Yeah. Over in the East Coast, I think that's like 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, no. Incredible. Incredible. You want to learn more about the Lord and just connect more? That's Miss Motivated, honey. Motivated to what? To soar. She's wonderful. She's saying, hello, sis. Mariela's is that what they call reverse psychology? That is what people refer to when they say reverse psychology, is to use yourself as a mirror. People will show their true selves if you put that mirror in front. Just ask them those open-ended questions. Ask them what you want to know, put in a question. But never use it against somebody. Never use it to gaslight, to manipulate, to do any of those things, because you could do that to somebody who does not understand it. And that's where the bad rap comes between reverse psychology, because we're trying to help somebody in the end of the day. But manipulation, you could implant a bad seed into somebody, and that seed can grow and wither into something terrible. You know what I mean? And that will last for years. That's why it's also kind of tough. You can't let everybody in the world influence you. You can't let things that you see get you down, get you into a space where you're like, well, gosh, well, this person said this and I can't do it. And if this person said this, well, then maybe it's not for me. You got to be able to have that mind of your own at the end of the day and know. And you can have a trial and error during everything too. We don't know it all. Like I said, at 25, that's the last time we're done developing in our brain. but never use it against anybody. Yes, once you do understand behavior. So hey, motivated. Open times. Open times you are joined together to plant seed in someone else's responsibility may to help the seed grow, but it's up to the person to be ready to change or whatever. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink it. They have to be able to see it within themselves. But if you keep showing, the, what did it say? Showing examples, like being that standard. If you keep being their example, you'll slowly allow them to start watering it, but they have to do it themselves. Absolutely. D saying hi. Kim saying, D, how are you, sis? Absolutely, Kim J. That often said, that should have said oftentimes, not open time. Oh, okay. No worries. She's saying, Kim J, I'm okay, just getting off of work and coming down from the day. I'll be going to be early tonight. Oh, you're going to go to bed early tonight. Yeah, because you hold your lives like super early in the morning. Like, yeah, going to bed early. I feel you. Eating your feelings, I can relate. Yeah, a lot of us were emotional eaters for sure, because we weren't doing other things, or we weren't. My therapist said it's like I wasn't coping with my emotions. That's a way of eloping, which is running away from your feelings, is getting that dopamine hit from food. So when we're in a bad mental state, whether we're stressed, sad, angry, some of us were just bored. I know I was a bored eater. I'd be bored and I just wanted to eat. I didn't know how to deal with any emotion, and I turned to food. But obviously that wasn't a healthy coping mechanism, for sure. And I'm glad that, we can connect, and there's other people out there who do feel that too. You don't feel alone in the world. D, yes, you get some rest, you get up early, you need your rest so you can be ready for the early morning motivation you share. I'm telling you, she goes on live early, honey. Hello, Marielas. She said, Kim J, yes, sis, some days it comes down on me. It just depends. How is your day today? And then Mariela is saying, hi, hello, motivated. And let's be honest, what exactly is normal? Exactly. What really is normal? Because none of us, I don't think I've ever truly met a normal person. Maybe one, but, and that's not even really like, in fact that I know one normal person is not normal. Okay, like, I don't find anything normal anymore. And it's okay. We're human, we're complex. We're not supposed to be this cookie cut standard either. We're supposed to be different. We're supposed to be who we are. So yes, I agree with you, sweet angel. She said, Jolene, hello, how are you, sweetheart? She said, I'm doing well, motivated. Yes. Today has been good. I'm going to try to go to bed a little earlier today. I normally don't go to sleep until I get my dose of Jesus through D. Yes, unless I get tired before or busy. Yes, she's in the East Coast for sure. Oh, my bad. I said it out loud. She said, absolutely, Felicia, there's no such thing as normal with kids. My oldest was a little professional, and my youngest is always called my wild child. I literally call my son the wild child. And I think my daughter is a professional. She's more of like, I think she's like the creative. Yeah. My son is wild. And I love every minute of him. Yes, I absolutely agree, Miss Nikki. Sorry. She says, LL says, we definitely need him. Absolutely. We need Jesus. My question, when people ask me why I couldn't just act or be normal, I would just respond by asking who set the standard for what normal is. I used to get so annoyed with people. And that's on what? And that's on period, honey. Who set the standard? People in society aren't normal. As soon as you step out your doors, I don't care where you are, nothing's normal. We have a set standard rules we go by, obviously, but there's some people who do not abide by it. That's why we have crazy people, really sick people in the world. We just have to be more vigilant toward it. We just have to keep our eyes open towards it. And keep our eyes open towards the good people too, because when you keep looking at the negative too, you're going to find nothing but negative. You can find those angels out in the world. You really can. But I agree with you, sweetheart. Who set the standard? Because not I. There was only one perfect being, and that truly was Jesus. Yes, D. Every hour we need him. Absolutely. 4 a.m. Eastern time. Oh, okay. So she's on at 4 a.m. Eastern time. So that's 1 a.m. I don't know. Me and Kim J be in your lives just looking at you. Very late at night, obviously. Morning devotional live streams. That's at 1 a.m. for Pacific Standard Time. Thank you. My brain's not here. And Nicole said I'm definitely not normal. Okay. Just subscribe, motivated. Yes. Grant is a very faithful person too. Very spiritual person. So you would love her, Grant. She's wonderful. If you ever get a chance, look at any of her past live streams. Wonderful. Oh, okay, that was the last one. Okay, we have 10 more minutes left of the book. So let's get into it. Oh, okay. So you said, Felicia, I think you said you were standing in for someone else, if I'm correct. Have you thought about doing one of your own? You're excellent with it. I would be Oh, I was thinking about doing it on my own. This was between me and Delilah. I have her name in the description. It's at my Delilah. I don't know why I can't get the hyperlink going where you could just click on it and then it would be like, it'd pop up. I think I have to do it on this laptop right here, because I tried doing it on my phone. I tried doing it on my tablet. It wasn't working, honey. So it was me and her. So she would do like chapter 1, and then I'd do chapter 2, then she'd do chapter 3, then I'd do chapter 4. So this right here is her book club. And she wanted to do it with other content creators. So at first it was with a great creator called Life is Shy. And she did the first book, which is The Mountain of Me, or The Mountain is You, sorry. The Mountain is You. That's the book we first did. And then she asked for the second book if somebody else could do it. And she couldn't find nobody, so I kind of volunteered. And so I did it. And so when this book is over, she's going to look for another... she wants to do it with other content creators to have a book club, but... yeah, after this book is over, I still want to continue a book club. Yeah, and I did want to do it. And I appreciate you for motivating me. Motivating me to what? To soar. I know it's not intended for you, but I do love D. And I love you too, sweetheart. Thank you. I'm normally normal until I'm not. And that's all, period. And then Felicia has to allow me to lay on her couch. Yes, she offers me free counseling. There are some times where I'm like, okay, sit on the couch, Kim. What are we experiencing today? It started from childhood. And then how did you feel about that? That's how I feel sometimes. But all in love, because I will tell her at the end of the day, I'm not a therapist. I'm just gonna put that mirror in front of you and see, how do you feel about it? Yes. She says, Sandra, isn't she a natural? Oh, I'm about to check a motivated out. Yes. Oh my gosh, she's wonderful. Very wonderful. Okay, let me play the last 10 minutes of this. And I am here, honey. There's 10 minutes exactly. So if you can stick with me, I'm going to go and change my daughter's pamper. And I will be right back. But I'm going to play this in the meantime. So I'm here.
You can't get mad at somebody else if they don't stop drinking when you're still pouring yourself a glass of wine. You can't be upset that somebody's not taking better care of themselves when you're not exercising either. You're an essential part of this dynamic. And modeling the change and making it look fun and easy, that's what the science says will unlock your influence. So if you see them change, amazing. If not, let them be. This isn't easy. This takes time, particularly with someone that you love. So you gotta back off because they need enough space and enough time and enough distance from the conversation with you to feel like they're not going to get a "I told you so." The space allows them to come to the idea for themselves. The time allows the tension to transform into the motivation, which makes it think it's their idea. Isn't this cool? I just love this. And that brings us to step C. Step C is celebrate. Celebrate progress while you continue to model change. Once you've asked the open-ended questions and you've backed off while continuing to model the behavior change, you have to celebrate any progress you see. Whenever they make the smallest move forward, celebrate it. This step comes from Dr. Sherritt's research, and she says that immediate positive compliments are a key driver to influencing positive behavior change. Here's an example that Dr. Sherritt gave us. If your spouse one day just heads down to the basement and hops on the Peloton, that's amazing. When they come back upstairs, give them a hug. Tell them you're proud of them. Dr. Sherritt says one of the most effective things that you can do is tell someone how attractive they look, or give them a kiss on the cheek as soon as they're done working out or doing what you wanted them to do. It sounds cheesy, but it actually works. And I can tell you it does. I do this with our son Oakley. He used to hate to study. We had constant fights about his homework and being more diligent as a student. And I followed this method. And you want to know what I did to celebrate? When he would finish his homework and come downstairs for a break, I would just silently high-five him in the kitchen, acknowledging, "Good job, buddy." It's simple. People want to feel good. According to the research, immediate positive rewards after someone does something hard boost their intrinsic motivation or desire to do it again. So when you acknowledge someone's effort, or you tell them that you're proud of them, or you give them a hug or a high five or a kiss on the cheek, it acts like fuel to keep them going. The hard thing gets fused with something really pleasurable, the reward that you're providing. And remember what Dr. K taught you about the human brain? We're wired to move toward what feels pleasurable, easy, and fun. So the more my friend compliments, hugs, and admires her husband post-workout, the faster her husband will connect working out with compliments, desire, and the fact that his wife thinks he looks damn good. Her positive attention becomes the pleasure he moves towards. And that's what's been missing this entire time. This isn't just common sense, it's neuroscience. And I want to say something about that, because you probably wondered, why is this called the ABC loop? Because you're going to have to go through these 3 steps over and over again, because you're going to screw up. You're going to get frustrated. There's going to be tension again, because it's hard to back off and just let them. So if you need to apologize again, apologize and ask the open-ended questions again, and then back off, because the person that you care about needs enough space and time and distance from the conversation with you to feel like they're not going to get one of those "I told you so." They need space that allows them to come to the idea for themselves. Time is what allows the tension to transform into motivation. You learned that human beings are wired to move toward immediate positive benefits, the good things, the celebrations, and so often we approach change with negative reinforcements, threats, pressure, fear, when the real success lies in feeling accepted, compassion, and showing support in a genuine and effective way. It makes sense, doesn't it? Of course it does. And remember, adults only do what they feel like doing. Your power is in your positive influence. Let them be. And let me use the science to inspire change. Let them helps you rise above the emotions and broken dynamics to strengthen your connection, while let me influences positive behavior change in the people that you love. They may change immediately. They may change in a week. They may change in several months. It may take years. Maybe they might never change. And that's okay too. Later in the book, you and I are going to discuss what happens when you've tried the ABC loop, you've backed off for 6 months, and there's still no positive change. When this happens, you'll need to decide if this is a deal breaker or not. It's not fair to stay in a relationship where you're chronically complaining about someone else. You hold the power, always, to make something better or to learn how to accept things as they are. The most important change in any relationship is the one that you control, yours. You change how you show up, you stop pressuring the person that you love, you become more loving. That's what makes you powerful. And in the process, if you do it right, you don't just reduce the friction between you and the person you care about, you also make the relationship much better along the way. So in the next section, you're going to learn an entirely new approach to supporting someone who's struggling, using the let them theory and the latest expert research. But first, let's summarize what you just learned. Yes, you're always going to want people in your life to change, but pressuring them only creates resistance to it. The let them theory encourages you to accept other people as they are and focus on your own behavior and growth and inspire change through your positive influence instead of pressure. Let me just highlight once again the problem right now. The problem is pressure doesn't create change. It creates resistance to it. And you're acting with the best of intentions, but it gets you the worst result. Every time you pressure someone, it pushes them away. You're not only straining your relationship, you're fighting against the wiring inside of someone's body and brain. That's the problem. And you think the tension and frustration are due to the fact that the other person won't do as you wish. You're wrong. The tension, disconnection, and frustration are being created by your pressure. Here's the truth you need to accept. Adults only change when they feel like changing. Human beings have a hardwired survival instinct to be in control of every aspect of their life. Anytime someone feels like they're being forced to do something, they will fight back. And you're going to find yourself locked in a battle for control. What all human beings want is to feel acceptance and love. They need to be in control of their own thoughts, actions, and decisions. And by using the ABC loop to set up a conversation where you apologize, ask open-ended questions, model behavior change, and celebrate progress, you use your power to influence change in other people. Now, the key piece of this is creating the space for someone else to believe the change is their idea, not yours. When you say let them, you're accepting other people as they are. You remove the tension and pressure and let them have control over the way they live their life. When you say, let me, you use neuroscience to your advantage and unlock the power of your influence to motivate someone else to change. Let adults be adults and let your influence inspire them to change. Now that you've learned all about the science of
Okay, cool. She's just going to talk for like 10 more seconds. But that was great. Oh my gosh. I know I stepped away for a second, but I kind of got the gist of what she was saying. And the last thing that really resonated with me is rise above emotions and take your emotions out the equation. Also, sorry. When you are talking to somebody about something that you want them to change with, and it's usually a good change, or you don't want somebody to change for the worst. That's kind of weird if you do, but I mean, that's why I say you have the power to influence people once you do understand behavior, once you do understand how to influence other behaviors, so you don't want to influence somebody to do a bad behavior. But when you are talking to them through this, you have to take your emotions out. You have to. Because the minute you imply your own emotions, the thing that I've learned in therapy for so many years is that your emotions are not fact. They're not a fact. Because they can change in 2 seconds. You could be so happy one minute and then get terrible news the next minute. Are you going to keep on that happiness? No. You might get angry. You might get stressed out. You might get sad. So our emotions are never a fact. If you want to help somebody, you kind of got to help them with facts. And the fact of the matter is, if you ask them, hey, Why do you do that? Because it's the fact that you're doing something that may be bothering me, but you don't want to say it like that. You want to say, why can't you do this? Why don't you do this? Why haven't you done this? Because it's a fact that they're not doing something, right? It's just reflecting back on them. Now, if you put your emotions into it, it's not going to work. It's like telling your kids, like, why can't you get an A on this test? Like, it's so frustrating. Like, why can't you do it? And it's like, oh my gosh, that's pressure. That's a lot of pressure. And sadly, kids take that pressure. And when you put pressure on children, you make pressurized teenagers, pressurized young adults that don't know what to do with that pressure, because every emotion you bring onto somebody, they have to release it. So if you bring on a negative emotion to somebody, they're going to take that in. Somebody who isn't healed and who doesn't understand their own emotions, they're going to suck it all in. And they're going to either explode or implode. And a lot of us do realize that we have imploded on ourselves. Hence, eating our feelings away, starting up bad habits like smoking and drinking, or turning to prescription type of deals, or even overdoing something, as in like overdoing exercising, drinking coffee. It could be small things. That is imploding on ourselves. We're harming ourselves with a lot of things we do, but we don't want to hear it. Or explode. You have people who have only been taught to vocalize their emotions. So you got to know who you're dealing with. Are you dealing with an explosive person or an implosive person? So that's why we have to take our emotions out of it. If you want somebody to truly change, you have to take who you are out of it. I will always say the hardest thing I've ever had to do was try to understand my own parent. I had to try to sit there and try to understand my mom. Why were you the way you were? I had to put my emotions out the picture to understand, why was she explosive? Why was she so angry? Why was she the way she was? Why were you negative? The more and more I sat down and started asking her these open-ended questions. Why do you react that way? Why was it that the anger was the first reaction that you had when we did something, anything? If we laughed too loud, why was it anger? And you gotta say it in a voice where it is so monotoned. And it's tough when you're dealing with somebody who raised you to be who you are today. To take away that emotion, and for me to understand, okay, you were raised in a tumultuous house. You were raised in a horrible environment. You were learned to love through people that were not there to love you. They were there to manipulate you. Then I understood. You aren't angry. You're anxious. Anger was just a defense mechanism. So when you learn somebody and truly want to understand somebody, and you have to care for this person a lot for you to want to change them. You can't just meet somebody and be like, hey, you look kind of sad. Let me change you. You have to care. Because this is a lot of time, a lot of energy. Like she said, 6 months of doing stuff like this. You have to be consistent. Like we are consistent for ourselves, or we're trying to be consistent for ourselves. We have to have that consistency. Because once you truly learn somebody, then you could show them, it was just anxiety, sweetheart. It's okay. It's going to be okay. I'm not going to leave you. You got abandonment issues? I'm here. You got issues where things had to be a certain way? Doesn't have to be that way. Once you do have that, once you do find that within somebody, they will change. And I'm glad I took the time to understand her. So when she did leave this world, she left this world understood instead of feeling like everybody was against her, if that makes sense. And the world would be a better place if we did try to understand each other a lot more, but it does take so much effort. That's why you have to pick and choose who you do this for. And you have to make sure you're instilling positivity. Because it could have been easy for me to be like, well, I can't stand you because you were like this and you did this. And I'm like, gosh, we would have never gotten anywhere. So yeah, sometimes it is tough. And there's also a boundary where it's too much. There's some people who don't deserve your understanding. There's some people who are never willing to change, and you have to decide for yourself. That is the ABC, the consequence. Is the consequence them losing you? Of you being like, I'm done. There are certain people where you cannot change them. They are not willing to. Maybe they are stunted in growth mentally. Maybe that's all they've ever known was negativity. All you could do is implant the seed and walk away. And that's one of the hardest things to do. We tend to do that with relationships, like intimate relationships. Some people have done it with their own parents. Some people have done it with their own children. It's the hardest thing to do, because then you have to reflect back on your behavior. And reflections are tough. But to know that you did the best you could, and this is your boundary, don't ever push yourselves any harder than that, okay? Mentally, you have to stay grounded. You have to wake up every single day to you. And that's it. So, I know there's a lot of things that we have regrets in our lives, but as long as we show up every day knowing that we did the best we could, then we did the best we could. Yes, that was my end of my tangent. Let me go in the chat. Let's see. I think I left off here. You would be disappointed. You won't be disappointed, Sandra. D is silent now. We'll sing her. We'll sing her praise. God speaks through her for sure. Sorry. She be low key. All of my business. She's low key all in my business though. She don't even know what's going on in my life. When we watch D, Kim's always like, "Oh my gosh, she's speaking to me. Why is she in my business?" I said, "If it reflects, honey, then it reflects. If the shoe fits, then it's for you." Yes, do it. I may even help. I love this vibe. Ah! She said, "Cool, Sandra. A collab? Woo! We're better together. We are. If you ever did want to collab, I definitely would. I love doing the book club. And I know that Delilah's going to, find another creator. And that's cool. I don't want it to end. At least on my part. You know what I mean? I would love to do a collab with you, honey. We could do the same thing. Just have a book club, and once a week, we get up on here, and we just talk. We talk about a book and everything else that's going along with it. I love spreading love. So, if I could spread love during any way, I've done my job, honey. Yes. D says, "Oh wow, thanks so much. Stepped away for a bite to eat." That's okay, honey. You need to eat, sweetheart. That's understandable. No problem, D. Looking forward to your channel. Yes. She's saying, "Hi, Sandra. Nice meeting you." And that's Miss Paula, honey, in the chat. I don't know if you're still here, but I love you, girl. That is my middle name twin, sweetheart. We both have the same middle name. And I am honored, very honored. She's my everything. I love her. Hi there, Paula. Yes, everyone's saying hi to Paula, honey. Okay, there we go. She said, "I'm following you, Grant. Okay, I got you." He said, "Hello, yes." She said, "Oh, Paula 911 in the chat. Connection is everything." Yes, everybody connect. Everybody spread love. She said, "Hi, Jerlene. Good to see your name in here." Love Jerlene, honey. Gotta have Jerlene. Jerlene is a must, honey. Yes. She said, "Thank you, Paula." Oh, love is... Yeah, oh, my bad. I just read that. She said, "You're so welcome." Here you go. My gosh. That is Delilah's channel. I appreciate you, Sandra, and that's on everything. And hello, Sandra. How are you, sweetheart? That is Delilah's channel. I'm telling you, I had the toughest time. On my post, it let me put the hyperlink, but on the description, I don't know why it's fighting me. So after this, I'm going to try to do it on my laptop to put her hyperlink, so when you guys go into the description, you will see her name, because chapter 16 will be on Delilah's. I don't know if she's going to do it this week, this Saturday, or maybe next Saturday. I don't know. I have to talk to her, because she's just getting back from a cruise, or she's on her way back. Yeah, so I don't know. And she has to kind of recuperate after being on the cruise for a couple days, so yeah. Hi, Sandra. Is back from the cruise. Girl, that's what I was just talking about. She said, Miss Jerlene is a delight. She's so sweet. Very special to our GLP-1 community. Happy you were able to officially meet/connect today. Yes. Like I said, Miss Jerlene is a must. She is a slay. What all day, honey. Paula says, I have seen Jerlene in chats before. It's been a while, Kim J. She's the sweetest, honey. Miss Linda said, this is a great read and listening. Felicia said, thank you, sweetheart, for being here. I'm so honored, Miss Linda McDuffie. I'm so honored. She said, Paula, I thought so, but I thought this was, I thought this time was official. Aw. She said, yes, ma'am, Kim J. She's saying hi to Kim, hi Paula. Kids will shut down too if they're sensitive. Yes. I think some of us know, like, either some of our children are sensitive, or maybe our nieces and nephews or grandchildren. We always have that one child that is just, I like to call them sentimental. My daughter's like that. She's very sentimental. She will start watching something and then start crying out of nowhere. And I'm like, oh, you're getting sentimental in your heart. And I just rub her little heart. Because some kids, they just get sensitive. But that is their number one reaction. And if you keep pressing them, if you keep pressuring them, you will have pressurized teenagers. Like I said, the sensitive teenagers. You will have those adults that, I don't know if you've ever met an adult, but there's some adults out there that you will say something to them and they completely shut down. And you're like, whoa, I didn't even mean it like that. But that's all they were taught to do. Those type of people only ever face negativity. So I see that and I'm like, I know, oh, okay, something's going on here to where you were pressurized way too much. And this is your defense mechanism. All of us, we have a defense mechanism. That's just the human mind to protect us from other people or even ourselves. I definitely agree with that. Yeah, Miss Linda said, you're right. Making dinner for my kids, but I am here listening, and I appreciate you, Sandra. And I hope your kids enjoy their meals because it's made with a lot of love. He's saying, hi, Sandra. What's for dinner, Sandra? Period. What is for dinner? How are you, Linda? You've got two Sandras now. I know, right? It's the more Sandra, the merrier. I'll take all the Sandras. Journey says hello, everyone, and beautiful Marie B. Sniffles. I know, man. It's tough out here. I'm going to have to watch this from the start, but wanted to say hello, and I appreciate you, and I love you very much for that journey, and you're everything, sweetheart. Thank you. Not Grant calling you by your first name and Miss Paula. They said, hey, Angie. I love that. And Miss Linda, Mr. Lean, two of our very special people. I low-key favor them the most, but there is so much wisdom they kindly bring to the table to share. May God continue to bless you all. You know, for specifically, Miss Jerlene, let me never get this wrong, okay? Miss Jerlene is everything. But Miss Linda McDuffie, I will say I'm very honored for her to be over here because she is like Kim's like number one supporter. She loves Kim. And I'm like, the fact that you love Kim so much that you came over here from the love of Kim. Do you know how much you gotta love Kim? I always joke with Kim, like, Linda McDuffie loves you, I think, way more than I do. Like, she has to. Because I was Kim's supporter before I was her friend. It's Miss Linda McDuffie, honey. She beats me by a milestone. If I went back to Kim's, like, first videos she ever posted, you know the first person on there was? Miss Linda McDuffie. Yes. Miss Linda McDuffie is everything. So thank you for loving Kim so much that she came over here to bring me some love. I'm honored. She said, how are you, Angie? Journey. She said, Kim J, you're a sweetheart. Yes, you love her, honey. I'm all right. A little sick, but doing well. How are you? Journey, I feel so bad. Journey, I feel like Journey gets sick often. I remember like a couple months ago, her and her whole family had the flu. And I was like, I'm so sorry. And she's like, we're all so sick. It's disgusting. It's horrible. And then look at her. She's sick again. Honey, I am so sorry. It's terrible. Just like Paula said, so sorry to hear you're sick. I'm a little nauseous. The shot got you a bit? Oh, I'm sorry. I've never experienced nausea from the shot, but That's the one side effect. I think I was more terrified of anything else. I'm sorry you're experiencing it, and I hope anything helps, because being nauseous is terrible, sweet angel. She said, Jillian says, D, I'm in the bushes at 4 a.m. She is. Following the word with you. Oh, she's there. That's so cute. Yes, Sandra. She said, okay, let's talk soon. You can email me, sweetheart. My email is in my description of my channel. Or you can just do FeliciaMarieB@yahoo.com. However you want to get a hold of me, sweetheart. Yeah, get a hold of me. And we could definitely chat. We could definitely set up something, because you are a sweet angel, sweetheart. I do not mind. And then Miss Linda says, it takes patience and grace to allow change. When you pressure a person, it only makes things worse and worse, or process uncomfortable mentally and physically. Nobody talks about the physical side effects either. Yes. I mean, to make somebody change is to put that uncomfortable topic in front of them, but it's to allow them to process it. It's the process. A lot of us don't allow people to process it because we want things fast. We want results now. We wanted you to stop doing that forever ago. So we put our emotions in place, the irritability, the frustration, all of it. We kind of just shove it down their throat, and it's like, hey, let me process this. Because sometimes it makes you feel mentally ill and physically like, man, this makes me sick to my stomach. Because I have to do something for myself. It's hard to change yourself. Just think about the things that it took you a long time to change. Sometimes it takes months, decades, eons to change anything about you. So you can't expect somebody else to change on the flip of a dime either. It's the physical part. Sometimes you get told something and you feel sick to your stomach, like, wow, I didn't know I was doing that. Did not know that I was that person. I've been told that before, for sure. I didn't know I was being a type of person that was like, wow, I was being really reactive. Until somebody put that mirror in front of me, and I was like, oh my gosh. I felt physically sick. Yes, honey, yes. Truth, Linda. Yes, Apollo's agreeing. My youngest son is a challenge for me. I'm trying to be supportive, but let him be who he is. Bless your soul. Bless anybody's soul that has multiple sons. There is a special place in the deepest parts of heaven for people who have more than one son. It's no joke, honey. I mean, the daughters are there too, but the son, only because I'm only dealing with a teenage boy myself. Good Lord. They love you one minute, and then they can't stand the world the next minute, and you're just like, what is going on with you? It's tough to get through with boys. But what I do find out is later on in the years, boys become so loyal to their mothers, which is why you hear the mama's boys. They become so loyal. I don't care what you do in your life, Paula. You could become a monster. I guarantee you your sons are going to fight to the death for you. And that's, of course, if you are a good parent, which I believe you are. Boys are like that. Women are usually like that with their fathers. I don't care what my dad does in this lifetime. You couldn't tell me nothing about my dad. If my dad decided to go out on a spree and rob a ton of banks, I'd be like, he didn't do it. You couldn't tell me nothing about my dad. I don't know why boys are like that with their moms and girls are like that for their dads. There are the exceptions of the other way around, though, for sure. And I'm sorry you are struggling, sweetheart. But at least I give you some hope that it might get better. Mr. Lean didn't know you were hanging out with D2 at 4 a.m. I love that you're at the table. Man, she is sneaky. She's in the bushes. This is Mr. Lean. She's like, love the conversation. Hello, Julie. Grant says, I'm generally implosive. Yes, until I'm pushed too much. There's always a limit. There's always a limit. I was going to do a video on that. On being basically taken in too much and imploding and imploding and imploding until one day you snap. I don't want any of you guys to snap. But for a lot of us that hold it in too much, the human mind can only hold in so much. Even the strongest people in the world can only hold in so much until they explode. Hopefully, you are healed enough to explode in a positive way. Most people aren't there. And they will explode in a massive way. And you're going to see this whole bomb go off and not understand, where did that come from? Whenever I see somebody explode to a certain degree, it makes me sad, because I'm like, oh, you were holding in a lot. Let it out. But you have to do it healthy too. Sandra says, Kim says, Sandra, you two tried to hold your comment. I tried you. It tried you. We got you though. I wonder why I tried to hold your comment. Me too, Grant. If I push too far, I push back hard. Grew up with 4 brothers. Survival of the fittest. Yes. And that's exactly it. We have a threshold. Yes, I completely agree. Oh, sorry. I love Miss Linda. Yes, you love Miss Linda. That is your ride or die. Says Kim J. Spiritual minds think alike. Ow. But I love Mr. Lean too. Yes, we love Mr. Lean. When I tell you Mr. Lean, if like Mr. Lean is up there with like the GLP ones we take, okay? She's a must. You gotta have it, okay? You can't live your life without it. You lose your coverage, you're gonna find a way to get Mr. Lean, honey, okay? That is how Mr. Lean is for me. Oh, my thing went all the way up. Okay. Oh, Paula, I hope you feel better soon. When's your shot day? On Sunday. And this is why I love Paula so much, because that's my shot day too. Ah! Paula, of the fittest, that part. Yes, it's the fittest for me. She says, thank you, sweet Felicia. I just love it. Your middle name, sister. Yes. She said, Paul. Oh, Grant, honey. Paul done left a long time ago. Love you, Paul. Compassion is so important, but you're right, Felicia Ruby. With some people, you have to know when to walk away, and that's on period. We all should be more like Jesus, but none of us are Jesus, okay? We try to be as close as possible, but there's only so much compassion we can have for people. And sometimes showing compassion is walking away. I'm showing you the easiest way I can. It's to let you go. Now, if you live with that regret, if you live on your merry life without me, either way, it's okay. But I'm always willing to accept somebody back if they are willing to change. But when it comes to intimate relationships, don't be upset if I moved on. You know what I mean? I've had exes come back, and I'm like, I'm married now. I don't know what you wanted from me, but I can say that I am proud that you did change. I am happy you did change. I am glad. It's just took too long for me, but I'm glad you did it for you. You didn't have to do anything for me. Do it for yourself, because that's the only person benefiting from this. So yeah, sometimes compassion is showing that person to walk away. I just love the connection and family here. Oh, Mia, you're so sweet. She said, yes, Mr. Lean is the spirit. It's the spiritual for us. It's the spiritual for us. Some people can become toxic, unfortunately, and it's unfortunate. And there's not much you can do about it. Those are those people that are not willing to change, not willing to grow, not willing to be here, not willing to be in a positive space, because sometimes there's some people who only understand negative. They only understand it to the point where they're comfortable in it. And that's where they want to stay. That's where they want to live. That's where they want to be, because a lot of toxic people, all they really want is control. They want to control the situation, control the person, control the narrative, control the environment, control the finances. People who do not have control lost it somewhere along the line. Now, I can understand if you lost control somewhere along the line, whether somebody was doing this to you, or maybe you were born like that. There's some people who are born, with certain mental illnesses that's just who they are. They weren't born with empathy. They weren't born with compassion. And those are true diagnosed illnesses. You have to know, where's my limit? Where is my boundary? Yeah, I can understand all sides of the coins. That person maybe just wanted a lot of control. That's why they're toxic now. But everybody can change. I truly believe that, but we also have to have that boundary. Miss Paula said, don't forget to hit that like. Oh, and I appreciate you, Paula. Yes. She said, Kim J said, yes, Mia, you know, you've always been my special sweetheart no matter what. Love you, girly. Paula said, I had to let go of 2 toxic friends. It was hard, but they had to be done. And it's always in those relationships, in those either a friendship or like a real relationship. When people seek for that type of control, that type of just, there's nothing you could say to them that could be positive. You gotta let it go. And whether they regret it not having you in their lives or not, you can hold on to the great memories, but it doesn't have to be the only reason why you stood there. A lot of people stay because they're like, but they were such a good person. Key word, were. Or they do this, and they used to do this, used to. They're not doing it now. It's tough. It really is tough to let go of people. But when you do, and you feel that pressure lift off of you, that's confirmation that you did the right thing. And I hope that pressure lifted off of you. Absolutely. 2 sons, and they are learning to be men. It's that special place in heaven, honey. You got it. You got it. It's up there. We're all, the boys are not easy, honey. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. Hi, Mia. Paula, I can relate, but if it's too toxic, you have to send off with love. And you can release them with love. Yes, Jerlene, you can release them in love. It doesn't have to be this big blowout argument. It doesn't have to be this whole, I'm exploding on you. It could just be, and it could be silence. Silence is a big, valid option. You could just back away. And if they notice that you're backing away, you could be honest and mean, like, it's just too much. And if they don't notice it, that's their loss too. We don't always have to have, what's it called? Like conclusion. We don't always have to have closure. Sometimes we just have to do it, rip it off like a Band-Aid. Or we could be like, I love you, but I'm not in love with you anymore. And it can go from there. Now, if the person's willing to have a talk and all of that, cool. If they're not, you're leaving anyway, so. She's laughing at me. Hey, Paula, I've been listening. Yes. My 2 sons love me. Even with our ups and downs, I know they will be there for me. See? They're willing to put their lives down for you. I know that's right. As long as you know and you use that for your positive, there's some women that use that for their advantage. Don't do that. I know some women that are like that. They love you, sweetheart, because you're a what? An incredible mom. True, Julene, it was very hard to say goodbye. Very. And I'm sorry you had to experience it, but I hope that things were better for it, because of it. And the courage you had to let them go. Because a lot of people don't have the courage to let people go. That's for sure. 2026 sends off for sure with love, Miss Julene. Let them and let me be. And that's on. Period. She said, click that like button. Thank you. She said, yes, I had to let them and send them off, Kim. Absolutely. Is that Mr. Alvin? Hello. He says, my favorite people in the world. Felicia, how are you? Kim Possible. Yes, I call her Kim Possible. How are you guys? How is everyone and happy Monday? We are doing well. We just finished chapter 15 of the book club. I am still sick, but I'm much better than I was yesterday. I hope you're doing well. And yeah, everything's great. And it is a good Monday. Thank you. Thank you for being here, Alvin. My gosh, you have a lot of support. And I love you for that. Absolutely. Jerlene says, hello, Alvin. Kim says, yes, Paula, because you don't want to become toxic too. Yes. You need your sanity. So you did what you think you needed to do. Honey, we live, we learn, we grow, and that's perfectly fine. Yeah. That is a breath of fresh air, honestly, yes. Sometimes we need to hear it. We live and we learn, but if we keep taking in people's negativity, you start to become that. And we're trying to become better at the end of the day. I absolutely love that. Happy Monday. Mr. Lee, nice to meet you. How are you? Mr. Lee is the biggest sweetheart. Love her. Get to know her. She's everything. Happy Monday to Grant. Yes. Miss Linda says you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. Change begins with you. If you want something different, you have to do something different. If you keep doing what you've always done, then you get what you always got. Change begins with you. And that's on everything, Miss Linda. That's what they say, like, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different outcome. That's actually not the definition of insanity. That's just, I forgot who came out with that, but it's the perfect definition, even though it's not the textbook definition. It starts with you. If you want your household to become better, if you want your relationship to become better, if you want your friendships to become better, it starts with you. And sometimes it means to let some people go. You have to. There's only one you in this world, and it is your world. Like, the world is Miss Linda McDuffie's, and we just live in it. The world is Sandra James, and we just live in it. The world is Paula's, Hardeen's, and we just live in it. Like it is for Alvin and Journey and Grant and everybody that's literally here. The world, this is my world, and everyone's just living in my world. So why not make your world a whole lot better? That's where the change comes from. Yes. That's why I always tell somebody, like, if you like it, then I love it. Who am I to say to go against it? If you like it, I love it. Thank you, Miss Jerlene, for those words, honey. Thank you. Kim says, hey there, FMB. Look who's come out of their bushes, right? That's our bro, Alvin. Hi there. Hope you're doing well. Enjoyed your live last night. Proud of your push. Yes. Alvin's so amazing. He's always like, shouts out to Felicia and shouts out to Kim. He's a wonderful supporter, and he's also a content creator. He creates shorts on like physical health and like lifting weights and stuff. So if you ever wanted to check out Alvin, he's a big sweetheart. He really is. And he's very new to YouTube, so if you could just show him some love, we'd appreciate it because he really does show us love back. Sandra says, I will see you all later. Everyone have a blessed rest of your evening. You too, Miss Sandra. Love you, girl. Amen, Kim J. Yes. Oh, ow, Kim Possible. Yes. See you later, Sandra. Jerlene says, doing fine. We met in the bushes with Kim J and Felicia at 4 a.m. Yes. We absolutely did. Jerlene is there, honey. She's saying good night, Sandra. Absolutely true, Linda. See you. Good night. Miss Linda Duffy says, yes, FMB, you remember Al and Mr. Lean met on our test live of Restream, and when you and Mr. Lean first met Al, we had a great time that night. Late night bonding and Auntie Queen. Yeah, it was Low Carb Queen, Jerlene, Alvin, me, and Kim, and it was like 2:30 in the morning, California time, and it was like 5:30 in the morning, East Coast time, and we just had a ball. And Cookie watched the replay too. That was everything. Yes, Mr. Lee. Great night. Oh, I got to the end of the chat. Yes, honey. So, thank you guys for coming to chapter 15 of the book club. Like I said, chapter 16 will be on Miss Delilah's channel. I have it down below. I'm going to try to fix the hyperlink. It's at My Delilah. If you want to check out chapter 16, it will be there. I don't know if it's going to be there this Saturday because we usually try to do this every Saturdays. But like I said, she's been on a cruise. If it's not this Saturday, I'm pretty sure it'll be the next Saturday. Or if she wants me to do it again, that's cool too. Oh my gosh, it's Miss Jenny. She says, oh, just seeing this. Hello, FMB. Hello, Miss Jenny, honey. I love you. I missed your live too. But I was super sick, so you can give me a pass, please. And I love you. Okay, thank you. But thank you for being here, sweetheart. Hi, she said I'm late. I have to catch up. No worries, sweetheart. I have to catch up on your live. You did your update, and I care for you. I care for your goals, and I care for your diabetes, honey. So I'll go watch it. But yes, next week or the week afterwards, the next chapter 16 will be on Delilah's. I'll let you know, she'll let you know when it goes up. And yeah, I appreciate you guys. We are 5 chapters away from this book ending. So thank you guys for the ones who have been here, who just came, or just, I'm saying, for everything. Thank you guys. Oh, she's saying hello, Jenny. Alvin said it's always so good to be here with you guys. Yes, both of you guys are absolutely amazing. And I'm always going to be here with you and for you guys in any manner possible. And I appreciate you. I appreciate that so much, Alvin. And I love you for it. Oh, I appreciate you, sweetheart. Thank you. She says, I'll feel better. Oh, and I appreciate that too, Miss Jenny. But it's no excuse, honey. I gotta know how you're doing on your 10 milligrams, okay? I gotta know how you're doing. Is it 10 or is it 7.5? You see, I gotta catch up. I think you're on 7.5. Okay, see, I gotta catch up, Jenny. That's no excuse. She says, hi, Jenny. Do you have an email address in your description? Oh, yes. She says, hi, Miss Jerlene, and great. You too, Al. She says, yes, she does, Kim. She absolutely does, Kim. Yes. I need to catch up on you, Jenny, okay? Period. So, I love you guys. Thank you guys for being here. I'll see you guys all in chapter 16. Love you guys very much. Yes, much blessings. And I will end this stream like I've ended all my videos. Oh, never forget to pollinate this world with love, joy, and kindness. Always, always choose kindness, because words alone will truly make somebody's day. Yay! I love you guys. Let's see. I'm going to reach out to you when I get a chance, if you don't mind. You are on 7.5. Okay, and that's okay. It's hard to remember. Good night. You're welcome. And good night. And Kim's going to reach out to you. Okay, I love you guys. Bye.